Welcome back to Houseless Reactions, where we're always here to have a good time. Yeah! Today, we're going to be checking out 3 true Home Alone horror stories, animated.
I had just gotten back from vacation with a few of my friends that I've known since high school. Most of us live far away from each other, so meeting up once a year is how we stay connected. Anyway, I'd been gone for a week and was a bit exhausted and looking forward to just resting at home for the weekend before I had to go back to work.
Right? Everyone needs that downtime at home, man. You need to rest up.
Walked over to the kitchen and got a couple snacks to substitute for my dinner, then turned off the lights and laid down on the couch.
Sounds like a nice regular day, nice day off from work.
And scrolling on my phone, then falling asleep. After a while, my eyes got heavy and I put my phone down on the coffee table and closed my eyes. It was late, though I don't recall ever looking at the exact time before I fell asleep.
Sounds like a pretty good day. Too bad it got ruined by whatever happened.
It didn't seem to be for any reason, as I didn't hear anything, but my eyes shot open and my head was in alert mode. It was a strange feeling, like something had to have woken me up to make me feel like this.
You gotta trust your instincts, man. If you think something's wrong, it's probably wrong.
Maybe my brain felt weird about me sleeping in the living room. Walking over to the stairs, I saw the back porch light was still on. This wasn't shocking, as I'd left it on while I went on vacation in hopes to mislead any possible robbers, as it would look like someone was home.
Yeah, I do that when I go out of town, don't you guys? You leave all the lights on so people think that someone's there.
It was unlocked. I immediately got a bad feeling in my gut.
Oh wow, his front door was unlocked.
I thought maybe I was crazy and pulled the door, but sure enough, it opened. I quickly shut it and locked it.
Someone's in your house now, man.
Before leaving, there was no way. I checked every door and window multiple times before leaving. I went around and turned on all the downstairs lights and looked around, trying to spot anything missing, but nothing that I could notice was gone. Really unsure about the situation I was in, I went back to the door and tested the lock. With the door locked, I was able to pull it open. I looked closer and could tell that a part of the latch was broken off.
Wow, someone broke into your house while you're sleeping, bro. I would call the cops and get out of there.
I knew the chances of whoever had broken in to still be in the house were slim, but I could not sleep until I was sure. This was the exact time when I should have called the cops.
Yeah, why didn't you call the cops, buddy?
I was just too tired to think straight, or if I was just really confident that nobody was still there.
You gotta at least search the house, look around the house, check every closet. I would.
All the doors were closed, just as I'd left them. My master bedroom was on the far end, with a bathroom and spare bedroom before it. I checked the bathroom first, opening the door and taking a quick look. It was empty. No signs of anything out of place.
Move on to the bedroom, man. I guarantee this guy's gonna be in the bedroom.
This room mainly for storage, so there were a lot of boxes and furniture scattered around. As I walked through the room, looking behind the boxes, I suddenly heard very quiet, soft footsteps coming from the master bedroom.
Told you you'd be in the bedroom. I would be.
They went across the room and to the door, then stopped. It was as if me and this intruder were just listening, waiting for someone to do something. The anticipation and anxiety made fear rush through my whole body.
He should have grabbed a weapon. That would have been the first thing I did, was grab a knife or something, you know what I mean?
Leading to the hall. Then, I heard the master bedroom door creak open. Another second of silence passed, before loud footsteps sprinted down the hall and a figure ran past the doorway. I just froze. Couldn't get myself to move or anything. Just completely frozen, listening to my heart beating rapidly as the footsteps ran through the house and out the back door.
I would be relieved. Hopefully it was just a burglar that ran away. I ain't trying to mess with no murderer.
This was one of those home-breaking cases that likely had a much more horrifying plot than just a simple robbery. Whoever it was didn't take anything. Police found no signs of someone having stayed there for long either, so they had to have broken in earlier that day. Whoever the intruder was somehow knew I was coming back that day and tried to break in discreetly so that I wouldn't notice when I got home. Then they went upstairs and hid in my bedroom all night, waiting for me to come in without expecting anything. And who knows what they planned to do if I walked through that door.
Wow, so that guy got really lucky that he freaking fell asleep. If he didn't fall asleep, he'd probably be done for right now.
I'm a 22-year-old male, and this encounter happened a few months ago. I live in an apartment just outside of my college campus. It's a fairly nice, newer apartment building, but the surrounding area is pretty shady. I don't spend any time around there though. I just drive down to my campus and back. I hadn't had any bad experiences before this, so I didn't ever find myself worried about much of anything. It was a Friday, and I'd just gotten back from school. I stayed late to get some extra studying done, so it was around 7 o'clock. I pulled into the small parking lot and headed inside the building. Walking inside,
I wonder if someone's gonna be waiting for him in his house.
I went up the stairs to my room on the 4th floor and went inside, dropping my school bag right by the shoe rack I kept next to the door. I grabbed a pre-made salad from the fridge and sat on the couch to watch something while I ate. While scrolling through YouTube on the TV, a very loud, sudden thump came from the room below. It wasn't an alarming sound necessarily, but more just surprising and out of nowhere.
Well, is that part of your house or is that the neighbors? If it's the neighbors, I wouldn't be worrying about that.
A few minutes later, that same sound came from below me again. I paused the video and sat there, patiently waiting for it to happen again. I was more curious than anything. After a couple minutes, it happened again, but this time it was louder and it even caused the walls to vibrate and shake.
Maybe they're trying to get your attention, dude. Maybe your TV's just too loud.
But I didn't know what or why. I waited again, but after a bit of no further sounds, I just continued about my night. I'm not sure how much time passed, but it wasn't too long, maybe 40 or 50 minutes, when I heard a knock by the front door. I was in the kitchen, which was right next to the door, so I knew the knock didn't come from my door, but most likely my neighbor's. Listening more carefully, I could hear a man mumbling something. It sounded like he was having a whole conversation with himself, just whispering and mumbling random sentences.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with those crazies, man. If he's talking to himself, you better just stay in that apartment and mind your own business.
And looked out the peephole to see if he was gone. The dude was standing in the dark, right in front of my door. He was looking down at the knob as if contemplating whether or not to try opening it.
Why would you open the door, dude? Stay in your apartment, bro.
To grab my phone just in case, but almost immediately, the guy banged on my door.
He's probably like, why you looking at me, buddy?
He began mumbling again too, making me believe he was definitely on some hard drugs or something.
You should have never made eye contact with that guy. That's where you messed up right here.
Was going to be. I didn't know if he was just some harmless druggie, or if he had worse intentions. But I felt fairly safe where I was, so I held off on doing anything. After maybe 30 seconds though, the man banged on my door again, yelling something at me, though it was heavily slurred and unrecognizable.
I would yell right back at him. I'd be like, go away, the police are on their way, buddy. Go! Get out of here, buddy!
I didn't know what he wanted, but the fact that he wasn't leaving made me pretty scared of what he wanted. The operator said they were a few minutes out, and asked if I wanted to stay on the line. I told them I was okay, and hung up. Just then, the guy outside the door started banging even harder. He was definitely hitting the door with something, as it was too powerful of hits for it just to be his hands. It sounded more like he was trying to break the door down at this point.
Tell him the police are on the way!
I grabbed a baseball bat from the corner of my room and prepared to hold my ground as the man continued with his efforts. This went on a while, until I saw the reflection of flashing blue lights outside the window.
I'd be like, you're done for now, tweak. You better get out of here.
And by the door stop. I heard them take the guy down, and I opened the front door to talk to the police. There were huge dents and cracks on the front, clearly having been smashed with some sort of hammer or even a crowbar. But what I found out next was extremely tragic and awful. The room below mine had a young lady living in it who was found unconscious due to heavy blows to the head. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to recover and passed away at the hospital.
Wow, so that guy probably banged her up with the hammer and he would have been next.
Her front door was wide open with no signs of damage, so it's likely she answered the door unknowing of who was there. After beating the lady, he smashed several holes in the walls of her apartment using a large hammer that they found him holding while arresting him.
Jesus, that guy beat her to death with the hammer, bro. That is brutal.
Officers that he was looking for a stash hidden in the walls. There were no signs of anything being hidden in any of the rooms after being searched, so the guy likely just made it up in his head while drugged up.
Yeah, that guy was tweaking and he thought some mysterious story in his head.
To doing the same thing to me as he did to the lady below me.
That could have been you if you let him in.
Probably just being nice and opening the door. No idea that her fate was behind it.
I'm a 15-year-old female, and I live with my parents and my older brother. He's 18 years old. My parents work till late evenings, and most of the times I'm home alone.
Wow, it's a young girl. I feel like that'd be the scariest situation to be a teenage woman and be home alone.
My family used to take care of a mentally disabled person by giving him food, old clothes, and some other things. Sometimes he used to behave perfectly like a normal person. He was not that ill that I knew of. I knew him since I was 10. He had no family, and he used to live with the people that he was working for, basically cleaning and such. One evening, it was almost 7 p.m., and my brother and I were home alone. My brother was sleeping on the couch, and I heard a knock on the door.
I would wake my brother up if anything's going down, right? I ain't trying to deal with that. Come on, let the men handle it.
And I let him know that she wasn't home. He had slightly moved in, and as soon as he saw my brother was sleeping there, he stopped and he started whispering and asking me for my phone number. I was completely shocked. Why would he need my number? And if it was for some genuine reason, why was he whispering as if he didn't want my brother to hear it? I immediately felt uneasy, and I made him leave.
I would feel uneasy too, man. He's probably trying to grape you.
He left. Fast forward 2 to 3 months later, and I was again home alone. My brother was at my uncle's home for my older cousin for the night.
I hope this guy don't know you're alone, because this seems like this guy's a predator.
And my dad would be staying there, and my mom wouldn't be back until 10 p.m. Now, I was in my bedroom watching some YouTube videos when I again heard knocking at the front door. It was around 8 p.m. and I thought my mom's probably back early. So I went to unlock the door, and when I did, it was him.
That's why you don't just open the door. Look through the peek hole, lady.
He was standing there at the door with an evil grin on his face. I was about to shut the door when he said he needed some water to drink as he was thirsty.
He's thirsty for you.
And never really felt any danger with him except the last time. I told him to wait there, and I went to grab a glass of water for him.
Did he just leave the door open? Why'd you leave the door open, lady?
He was already inside our living room standing there.
You shouldn't have left the door open.
Weird and confused. I gave him the glass, and he tried to hold my hand. I was almost paralyzed with fear. He started coming closer to me.
Look at his face, man. What he wants to do rhymes with grape.
He then told me that he wanted to have sex with me.
Told you, he's a pervert.
I was disgusted, and I told him I was going to call the police. After that, he left, and I told my mother when she came back home about everything that happened. To my knowledge, she told my father about it. And I don't know what they did to him afterwards, but I never did see him again.
That guy was a true creep.
I still can't believe how my family took him in, and he could behave like that. He truly was a sick fuck that didn't deserve our hospitality.
Now see, that guy was just mentally ill and horny. You know, she got very lucky he didn't do anything, but straight up, that's what that situation was. That was 3 true Home Alone horror stories animated. I enjoyed these videos today. You know, they were very interesting. Some of them a little different. That second one, you know, that guy got real lucky that guy didn't just bust in right when he opened the door and hammered him up like his neighbor did. That last story, that was just like a mentally ill guy. And she is so lucky she didn't get. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and smash that like button for me. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button so you'll get to see all my other great videos. I want to thank you guys for joining me today on Houseless Reactions, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, guys. Bye!